welcome back. Today I decided to show you guys how I get my seamless blend, I guess you could say. A lot of people always ask me what I do to blend out my eyeshadow, and honestly, I don't really know what to do. I don't know how to explain how I get it blended, so I'm just going to show you how I get it blended. So yeah, if you want to know my techniques and what I do to blend out my eyeshadow and make sure I have absolutely no harsh lines, then just keep watching. Okay, so for today's look, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to take Real Gar, Raw Sienna, and Burnt Orange into my crease with this Morphe brush and just go in circular motions and back and forth in my crease. For me, buffing out in circular motions blends out any of those harsh lines, and then I'm going to take Venetian Red and Red Ochre and place those in my crease with a Morphe M433 and start going in small circular motions, blending the color up into my crease. You guys will probably notice this in the video, but for me, I like to also lay my brush kind of flat down on my lid and slide it back and forth, and that also helps me as well. And then I'm just going to go back in with Burnt Orange, I think that was, with an M441 and blend out the top harsh line. I just want to smoke it all the way up to my brow almost, just to make sure it's all blown out and nothing's hard. And then I'm going to take Cypress Umber with that same Morphe brush, and I'm just going to place that color in the outer corner, and I'm starting to buff it out and blending it up into my crease. But when I bring it towards the inner part of my eye, I lay my brush more flat, and I kind of just slide the brush back and forth just to blend out any harsh lines that might be there. And then I'm going to go back in with that same blending brush from the crease and Real Gar and those other orangey colors, and I'm just going to help to further blend out that dark brown. And then once I get the brown the way I want it to look, I'm going to start on my lid color. I'm going to take Primavera from that same palette with a dry packing brush, and I'm just going to place that all over my lid. And then once I get the color the way I want to, I'm going to go back in with my wet brush and apply a little bit more just to make it more metallic and foiled-like. And usually after you finish placing your lid color on, you're going to have like some sort of a harsh line. So I just go back and blend it all out just because I don't really like the way that looks. And then once I get that blended out the way I want it to, then I start on my lower lash line. I'm using the Jouer Cosmetics Slim Cream Liner in Matte Black. This eyeliner is the best eyeliner ever with a Sigma smudging brush. And then I'm going to go in with Love Letter and Venetian Red on my lower lash line with a pencil brush and just really smoke that out. Now, depending on your eye shape, you may or may not be able to smoke it out as much as I do, but for me and my eye shape, it works. My eyes are really flat and I have a lot of lid space. So now that that's done, I'm going to start on my inner corners. Now, I will say that I don't really like how my inner corners came out. I feel like my brush must have been dirty, which is why I switched them out. But it made my inner corners kind of dark, and it didn't really blend out the way I wanted it to. But it's whatever, it is what it is. And then I'm just going to go back in with that first blending brush and blend out those harsh lines. And then I'm just going to darken up my moles again. And then lastly, my lipstick is from Frankie Rose Cosmetics. They sent me their new liquid lipsticks, and this is the one in the color Wild. It is so pretty. I love the color and the formula. They don't really dry down all the way, so they don't ever feel like dry or cakey when you have to reapply, even though I don't really have to reapply these. But yeah, I'm loving the formula and the color. So yeah, once you get your lipstick on, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.